Let's talk about one of the most extreme weight loss experiments ever done, the famous Minnesota Starvation Experiment. During World War II, a group of volunteers actually signed up to be a part of this study. Their goal was to help researchers understand what starvation does to the body and how to best recover from it. Now, these guys had their calories cut by about half to mimic a famine-like diet. And as you'd expect, they lost a ton of weight, and it didn't stop there. They got really lean and started experiencing intense side effects. Their libido, gone. Hair, falling out. Energy, non-existent. And they were always freezing, even in the summer. They were so cold, some of them even asked for extra blankets. But maybe the most striking part, they became obsessed with food. Some would just hold it in their mouths, not even eat it, just to taste it a bit longer. That food fixation, it's something that you'll often see in bodybuilders or physique athletes who diet down to extreme levels of leanness for competition. Now, where things got really interesting is after the experiment ended and they were allowed to eat normally again. Many found it harder than the actual diet itself. Even though they were eating more, their hunger was through the roof, and it stayed that way. And that leads to a really important point. Dieting might not just make you leaner, it might make you hungrier long term. And that hunger can make it super easy to overshoot your starting weight, a process known as weight regain or yo-yo dieting. So why does this happen? Well, for one, your metabolism slows down when you diet, and sometimes it stays slow. A fantastic example is the Biggest Loser study. Participants lost an average of over 120 pounds, but even 6 years later, their metabolisms were still burning 700 fewer calories per day, even after regaining most of the weight. So now we've got two big factors working against long-term weight loss. Number one, you're hungrier, and number two, you're burning fewer calories. And when you put those two together, it's no surprise that a lot of people regain the weight that they initially lose. That's the frustrating cycle of weight cycling or yo-yo dieting, and it's so common that some people in the anti-diet movement argue that we should just stop trying to lose weight altogether. Now, there's this idea that goes around of metabolic damage, or that you can damage your metabolism. The theory that repeated dieting suppresses your metabolism more and more over time, and many people felt that idea explained why they weren't seeing results from dieting, even if they were doing the right thing. However, for the longest time, the science didn't fully back that. It was mostly a theory without much direct human research. Until now, a new review paper just took a deep dive into this. It looked at 20 studies on weight cycling, and here's what it found. 4 studies linked frequent dieting to more fat gain. But that doesn't prove dieting caused it. It could be that people who are prone to gaining weight are more likely to keep dieting. Most studies found no link between weight cycling and long-term changes in either fat gain or metabolism. So what does this mean? Basically, metabolic damage, as it's often described, not really supported by most of the research. But that doesn't mean that yo-yo dieting is harmless. People who go through frequent weight ups and downs are more likely to struggle with mental health issues. And that alone is a good reason to aim for a more stable, more sustainable approach. So the bottom line is, long-term weight loss is tough. Most people bounce from one short-term diet to the next, hoping something finally sticks. But instead of chasing quick fixes, our focus as an industry and as individuals should shift towards building sustainable habits that support long-term health.